Hello there, my name is Dylan, and this is my cultural artifact from my cultural artifact speech. I think it's absolutely fascinating that I happened to stumble upon a book that would just change the course of my academic career. This opened my eyes to the fascinating reality of art history. As a art history major and tutor at PCC, I've generally spent countless hours obsessing over anything art related. Nonetheless, out of the 182 books in my collection, this is the book that's most precious to me. In this speech, I'll navigate you on this wonderful journey of art history, this wonderful world. Began with this book. That book introduced me to Van Gogh, and it culminated into my experience of seeing a Van Gogh for the first time. So, I actually got this book over at a thrift store. I was thrifting with my father over 10 years ago now. Oh my goodness. And it was just sitting on a shelf. It was the only white book there. I picked up the book. It was written by a comedian I knew. I was intrigued. And so I saw it had art and I was like, I'll take it home. I read it within a week and I loved the story. I loved how he connected art and art history together. And I was particularly moved by the Van Gogh painting in there. Due to that, of course, I got curious about Van Gogh as an artist and made me want to own a Van Gogh even though I couldn't. And yet, I had a chance to at another thrift store. And I would call this painting My White Whale because I never actually got to own it in the first place. It was actually a combination, I think, between two paintings. And essentially, it wasn't painted by Van Gogh. Nonetheless, you know, it was a mimicking of it. And I thought that was pretty cool. However, I only had $10 then. So I hid it behind some other paintings. A week later, I went back to try to buy it, but big surprise, it wasn't there. So I was really sad. I told my mother about it, and so we actually went over to Barnes & Noble to get a Van Gogh book, which I still have. As the year, of course, went on, I started to get this idea that I possibly wanted to major in art history. And that summer in 2015, I had the chance to actually experience a Van Gogh painting for the first time over at the Norton Simon. So it was almost after 2 years of essentially thinking about Van Gogh and other impressionists, and I had the opportunity to see his work. Van Norton Simon is free for people, for students, and over there I saw the mulberry tree for the first time. I actually have it in my book. I was giddy as a kid, seeing it for the first time, you know, in front of me right there. It was very saturated, very thick on the impasto. It was humbling to be in such a presence of such passion. So, to conclude, my journey began with an object of beauty. That book made me want to own a Van Gogh, got me introduced to Van Gogh. And when seeing Mulberry Tree for the first time at Norton Simon, I knew that essentially art history was what I wanted to do. It's surprising to me that a normal thrifting experience would actually get me introduced to art history. I feel that essentially every single one of us is an artist, and that our love could be spurred into just showing and sharing our passion to others. Thank you.